Good morning. This is Pat, and welcome. It is an exciting Monday because today is Easy Think Tank Day. And we've been working for 6 months trying to get to this moment. And I just wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to my co-host for the day. I've got Miss Cheryl Tan, video goddess extraordinaire, super corporate trainer on video. We've got Madeline Schwartz, who's always got a surprise up her sleeve. Madeline, I can't wait for you to share your secrets with us. And I know you know what that means. And Christine Molina. And my name is Pat Roque. I am a career and leadership strategist. And today is strictly, literally, a sneak peek behind the scenes because we've got some amazing, we've got 11 other friends basically hidden behind the scenes, all ready to get started with our summit that we've been working on for a long time. Cheryl, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you say hello and help kick it off. Thank you.
Yeah, good morning, Pat. Thank you so much for doing this. It's so good to see Christine and Madeline. And it kind of feels a little bit like Christmas Day, doesn't it? Like it's when everything is coming together. This whole week is really going to be a way for our clients, our customers, people who are trying to figure out kind of that path forward, how to find partners. And I was kind of thinking about how we were putting all of this together. And each one of us, there's 15 of us, we have our own expertise in all kinds of things, in communication, in virtual learning, in video, in pushing people to create video, in helping people understand one another. And boy, we need that, don't we? Like we really need that in this day and age. And so we've been working together behind the scenes to create something that is valuable and invaluable for people, kind of putting it together in this package. And so it starts today, continues tomorrow and Wednesday, and on Thursday, all coming together to have a conversation. And I know it kind of feels like we've been having this conversation on Zoom, on LinkedIn Live, we've been having this conversation, and now people are starting to venture out of their homes and into their offices. But then that's kind of where the real work comes in, and that's where we're all coming together to offer our expertise and some of our knowledge to help. And so this has been really great. And Pat, thank you so much for doing this on a Monday morning, bringing us together so we can talk all about this. I wanted to chat in and just bring in Christine and Madeline. Let's start with Madeline and just say hello and just check in and see how she's doing and how she's thinking about this week as we're pulling everything together.
Hi. Well, I'm so glad that you mentioned communication, Cheryl, because it is the basis of every relationship that we have in business, both internally with our teammates and our colleagues and the people who make the work happen behind the scenes, and with our clients and customers. And I'm so excited to be here this week with the three of you and our team of 15 experts, because we have so many valuable resources and ideas to share about how to improve communication and systems in order to recover from the last year.
I'll jump in. So it's so good to be here with you, Pat. Thank you for hosting this, and so glad to see you, Cheryl and Madeline, in this bright Monday morning. And it is like Christmas, Cheryl. That was a great comparison, because we're so excited to share I want to call it our gifts about how to help corporate leaders navigate these uncharted territories. This is a time like no other. And I'm going to connect the dots to what Madeline just shared about communication, because I am seeing that with my clients, is that, with so much stress and so much emotion bubbling up, that people aren't quite sure what to do, how to react. What used to be a collaborative effort is now kind of up in the air and a little bit different. So I know this think tank is going to be valuable to any leader CEOs, COOs, CHROs, you name it, any leader in any form of leadership within an organization that could help them. And they may have one specific challenge, and they could actually sign up for this think tank and find the specific leader that they want to listen to. Although you don't need to stop at that, because there really is so much value in everybody. And I'm excited to listen to all of you as well, too. So welcome to all of you that are listening right now. And I hope that you join us because there's still time. And I'm looking forward to a wonderful week with all of you. Thanks.
Thanks, Christine. That was a great description. And my phone is blowing up with messages because we've been reaching out to people. And so if you go on LinkedIn, there's an invite to the room for LinkedIn. You can go in there on my profile. We created an event. It's, will somebody type in the chat so it sits there? It's the http:// the Easy Think Tank address for people to log in if they want to register still. So let's do that.
Okay.
Does anybody hear an echo? Is it my mic that's echoing?
I don't hear an echo.
You don't hear it. Okay, well, that's fine then. It's just me. No problem.
I do.
You hear it. Okay. I'm having technology day from you know what. The power went out. The phone was dead when the power went out. All the lovely things.
I think it's not a good live, Pat, unless something goes wrong. It's not a good live.
That's true. That's how you know it's authentic.
It really is. And I guess the way you roll with the punches is kind of how you show up when you're working with clients, right? You find solutions and you make it work. Mm-hmm. Even though it's Monday, even though there's no power, even though the power could be better.
It's like really maintaining a sense of humor. I guess I'm a mom, right? So you have to have a sense of humor because I've been getting embarrassed every day for 27 years by myself anyway. So I'm going to give Cheryl the floor, and I'm going to try this because right now it sounds annoyingly echoey and it doesn't normally. So Cheryl, I'm bunting to you.
No problem. No problem. So what I think would be really great if we could, as we think about what we're going to have for the days ahead, maybe a bit of a preview of some of the things that you're talking about. What we've done in our sessions is when you sign up at easythinktank.com, you'll have instant access to speakers in our first day of sessions. So it's 5 per day, and you'll get all kinds of expertise related to communication and training and executive coaching and things that you might need as you re-enter the workforce, whatever that might look like. Maybe it's a hybrid model, maybe it's back to work, maybe you're staying virtual, but whatever questions you have, our team has been working to address issues in the workplace for the last year. I would say for many, many years, collectively dozens of years, but really for the last year, we've really been focused on working in our organizations and finding solutions. So let's talk about some of the things that that your particular session will focus on. And I want to give Pat some time. I'm not sure if you're available, Pat, because we haven't given you a chance to talk about some of the things that you will be discussing in your session as that kicks off today. So talk a little bit about some of the things that you'll be discussing. And you've been in the virtual world for a very, very long time. So tell us what people can take away from the things that you're talking about.
Perfect. You can hear me fine with this? Does this sound better?
I can.
It's better.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So they call me the Rockstar Leadership and Career Transformation Coach, which is a mouthful, but it wasn't my idea. So I have a background in marketing, public relations. I always was the one, Cheryl, putting other people up on the stage, out in front, teaching them how to build a brand, how to shine the light, and how to connect. Connection seems to be that magical piece. And so when we were gathering on this, we've been meeting, every Friday for months and months and months, we started to not just become friends, but to realize that there were some commonalities and some threads and some genius hidden inside each of our little treasure chests. So it's been really fun unraveling those pieces. And mine, when we had to do the fun fact of, tell me something, I've been working remotely for a long time. Since 1988, I'll just say it. I'm like, since I was in diapers.
Yes, for sure. Before it was cool. Before it was cool.
Before it was, you know what? It really is before it was cool, because I had a car accident, put my head through a windshield on Thanksgiving Saturday, going shopping with my mom. My friend drove. Remember when you didn't wear seatbelts and you probably were smoking a cigarette at the time? It was just all the bad things we did because we were naive and no one knew better. So I went through a windshield, had a concussion, and I wasn't well enough to go to work and sit in a chair, never mind at a desk, never mind for long lengths of time. So my boss said, hey, kid, hang a shingle and I'll hire you. And my boss, if you remember the Jim Jones mass suicide in Guyana with drink the Kool-Aid, saying drink the Kool-Aid, my boss was the global point person who ran worldwide communication on that disaster.
Oh, wow.
So that's one of the people I learned crisis management from. Kind of cool. At a really young age, got to sit right next to him, had no idea how absolutely tremendous he was. And so again, growth in what we do comes from the people we surround ourselves with. So from a very young age, had proximity to amazing people. And was basically a virtual VP of marketing before we had the technology. Because if you remember, we had monochrome monitors and, when AOL was first winding up that you've got mail, I lived through all that too. So maybe I sound like a dinosaur, and don't worry, my technology other than today is typically much better. But I got my master's thesis at age 40, my master's degree at 40, and did my thesis on best practices for virtual teams in spring 2001. Before 9/11, before the crisis of 08-09, financial crisis on Wall Street, before the pandemic. And so when all of this rolled around, my daughter, who's a doctor at Johns Hopkins, said to me, Mom, you were built for this. I love watching you, Mom, because you're built for this. You're helping so many people. I've never seen you so calm, cool, and organized as I am watching the world fall out from under people's feet all around us. And you're the one leading the way. And I thought that was kind of cool because she's a doctor. She's got absolutely nothing to do with this business. So watching peripherally. But anyway, long story short, the attractor factor is about making sure that people stay connected. That's always been a theme. Helping individuals realize their strengths, their innate talent. I love Strength Finders. Strength Finders and Why You Rock is kind of that synonymous. They flow together. And so connecting the dots from people who deserve to be able to do their best work and organizations who now have people just like we did here. If you think about it, we leveraged exactly that system to create this. We were all thrown together. Yep. Right? We were all thrown together. And then we started to really pay attention. And the minute we all started listening actively and letting each other step up with, I like this, I'm good at this, I'm learning this, here's what we solve. Together, we realized we really have this beautiful puzzle of all different complementary overlapping skills and talents. And so my gift is helping corporations do that in their organizations. So I literally just got hired again Friday. It's really great karma how this is happening. But one night I couldn't sleep. I was up 2:00 in the morning. I got another call from another company, 4 different companies in the last week and a half that have been saying, you know what? Our teams are burned out and exhausted.
Yes.
They are really feeling stuck. People are calling it the pandemic paralysis. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. We feel frozen in our feet. And now it was always that, first we thought it was 2 weeks. Do you guys remember when we thought this was 2 weeks?
Right. It was going to be maybe a month.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 2 weeks. Great. I could do anything for 2 weeks. I'll buy 80,000 rolls of toilet paper and I'm good. And then it became a month and 2 and 3 and 10 and a year. So what's happening now? They told us you can take off your masks and go for the most part. For that moving target. And now people are freaking out more because they don't know what they're supposed to do. Right. Because they know enough to be concerned, but they don't really know how to behave. They don't know where they fit in. Their companies don't know how to set boundaries because it's a moving target. It's like sticking a nail in Jell-O. So my piece is about employee engagement and helping people rock what I call rocking the virtual water cooler. And here's a good one. I did this talk globally the first time, I think 7 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Oh,
and oddly, and yeah, 7 years ago. And here's the other fun fact. The next year I got invited back and I had gotten detained and I couldn't quite get, I was like literally at the airport, long story short, couldn't get there. And we did the first workshops virtually. The conference itself had never had to have virtual speakers.
Wow.
So it became a hybrid event. People were sitting in the seats and I was hybrid remote leading. And it was like the Academy Awards when the winner can't quite get there, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, so engaging with real people, with what they need, with helping the teams learn how to bring out the best in themselves and others, doing things like taking their training, taking their learning, taking their sales meetings, learning how to keep people connected, accountable, productive, right? And moving forward together. So that's going to be my piece, which is available starting today. And I have, let's see, who else is on here? So Madeline, I'm going to punt it to you because you are also an engagement expert and you are with us today as part of the day one. 5 of us will be speaking. I pulled up the phone with the extra cheat sheet of who else is on for today. But Madeline, I'm going to punt it over to you and let you say hi and talk a little bit more about your story and your fun fact, because I think that you've put such a smile on all of our faces that we appreciate hearing it. I want to hear it again. So go ahead, Madeline.
Thank you, Pat. I am the communication coach for introverts and quiet leaders, and I help those quieter voices on your team speak up at work, and I help the people who manage them really balance out communication on teams so that you're not just hearing from the same 5 people over and over again. I don't think many people realize that introverts, and I'm one of them, make up 30 to 50% of the population. So if you're not hearing from them, you are potentially missing out on 30 to 50% of the ideas, of the problem-solving skills, and the creative capacity of your team. So what I'm going to be talking about today is how to use process and play to draw out more voices on your team so you can really benefit from the full diversity of those people.
I love when you talk about that, Madeline. I mean, the process and the play, because what I'm hearing when I talk with corporate leaders is this overwhelm, right? This feeling of, okay, 1 step forward, 2 steps back, go, go, go. Everyone's back in the office. Are they? Hang on, mask. It's all very like go, go, go. And then yet what I think we all bring is a sense of we can go into an organization and create calm and a process. And Madeline, you bring in play. So I love that. Do you have any examples of play that you've brought into an organization that can, that maybe someone can sort of learn from as they're watching this?
Yeah, so one of my favorite tools is this, a custom designed fortune teller. So I call this the momentum maker because it is a magical conversation tool. And what I use it for is to teach teams how to ask better questions in order to get better answers. So often communication training can start with things that might make some people really intimidated and have them shut down instead of build up their confidence. And that's why I think it's so important to introduce play, because play makes people feel safe. It allows them to be vulnerable in front of their colleagues and can build up trust. And so using this tool is this way to have people really create dialogue. So slow down conversations where people so often dig in their heels when they are getting feedback that they might not agree with. And it instead gives people purposeful questions to ask and a way to create dialogue and really work together to solve complex issues.
Love it. I love it. I think it's great. Can we hear from Christine? I would love to hear more about some of the things that you are finding as you go into organizations, and are you hearing the overwhelm? You can almost hear overwhelm in people's, like when they're talking to you. At least that's what I'm hearing. So as you hear that, what are some of the things that you're instituting in your organizations that are easing that feeling of, what do I do?
Right. Thank you, Cheryl. Yeah, definitely. I would say that every client I talk with, it's about overwhelm, but at a specific, unique level with their own culture. And so it could just be that, the overwhelm of the pandemic had us freeze. I heard somebody say that. And now people aren't quite sure who to talk to. They aren't quite sure how to navigate, who they used to be able to go to is things are different, things have changed. And so, and even right now I have a client who I was planning on a wonderful training this week. I had all my stuff prepared. They called and said last week, oh no, a crisis happened, help. And so I just pushed my presentation aside. And I go, we're going to start at the bottom. We're going to talk about what's actually happening. So I'm going to start with some of the communication skills for them to learn to listen to each other. And so some of the skills I have in my program, I call it Conscious Team Connection. It's a unique program I interweave with emotional intelligence. And so in this conscious team connection, it's actually learning to listen to people, really hearing what they have to say. And honestly, it is repeating back. Some people call it parroting. I don't like that word, but it's repeating back what they said. So, Cheryl, I appreciate that you asked specifically about overwhelm. See what I just did? I'm using your words. So it's about using their words to show that you really heard them. And then actually paying attention to their body language, paying attention to the tone of their voice to understand their own emotions, and really being able to tap into the deeper meanings of what they're saying. And here's something that's really important too, is this leader, whoever is listening to this leader, you have to really understand your own emotions too. Because if someone understands, when they're angry, what triggers them to anger, what triggers them to sadness, what makes them happy, the more they understand themselves, they actually build their capacity to feel the emotions of other people. And that's what emotional intelligence is understanding your emotions, the emotions of someone in front of you and those in a group. And so those are the components that I bring together. And so when someone starts out in crisis, I'll call it that, I have them kind of just really slow down. That's actually a first step, is really slow down and kind of go inside and inquire. A lot of the work I do is self-inquiries. People don't ask themselves the questions I ask. And I appreciate that Madeline mentioned that about those deep questions, because, a lot of times I'll get a blank stare like, oh, that's a good question. I've never asked myself that. What do I think about that? What is really triggering me inside? And so kind of moving into those foundational pieces. And then what happens is that these individuals within the team, the leader, they can learn to share, they can learn to connect. They hear each other in a different way. Then at that point, in this collaboration of energy, they can then look at the problems and hear it from a different place, as opposed to, my way. So it actually helps drop those walls, because silos happen in workplaces, and actually they happen in a lot of places. The walls come down, and so there's that energetic flow, and all of a sudden people see, you're just like me. You're having the same challenges I'm having. And you know what? How can we help each other? And that's kind of what we did. I think it was,
Yes.
We all had our own little thing, and now we're seeing the gifts that each one of us has and saying, wow, I'm going to compliment Madeline today, with my engagement conversation. I'm going to compliment Pat, what she has about engagement and communication. And the others that are today is day one is engagement. And so you're going to see the flow, but just a different message, because we are all so unique. None of us are exactly alike. And so that's actually how I believe that we should look at our own teams. No one is exactly the same. We don't have a bunch of mini me's. It's good to have that diversity of thought process and challenges, so we can find the solutions. So that's what my talk is about today too. So.
Christine, I love that. And as you're talking, I'm just thinking, boy, if you institute that in your workplace, you can also probably take some of those lessons into the home. I learned so much in our calls, and I've learned so much just talking to people within our 15 strong group, that I know that people who are joining us, who are in the audience, who are following us, will also learn the same amount of things in things that they can start using within their own organization. So thank you for that.
Cheryl, can you tell us a little bit more about what you're going to cover? I would appreciate hearing that. I can't wait for it, as a matter of fact. It's so woven into everything we do.
It's funny because my background being in journalism and TV news, I'm really just focused on the content. So we all have different skills in our group of 15, and I'm just really focused on getting your content out of your mouths and onto video. That's what I do. And when I go into organizations and they're overwhelmed, I will share with them your expertise, the folks in our panel. But most of the time when they're reaching out to me, they want to reach more people through their content, or they're trying to gather their expert leaders who are so knowledgeable in certain aspects of what they do, but they want to document that and share it with a new generation of leaders coming into their organization. So my goal is to really help them capture what they know and share it, whether it is internally with people who are coming into their organization, franchisees, other people who are coming into their group, or to share that knowledge with the public. Maybe it's through summits like we are creating. Maybe it's through social media. Maybe it is on YouTube. But my goal is to help leaders be able to share what they know and share it succinctly on camera so other people can benefit from it. So I go through a 5-step process that really helps the thought leaders who are really just they love what they do and they're experts in what they do, but I really help them create content that their employees, their partners, their clients can enjoy and can really learn from and do something with, whatever that goal is for them. And so I take them through my 5-step process to do that in order to create content that can live on. And Jesus,
there's a question. Yeah, I was going to say, go for it.
Yeah, how important is brevity in your line of work? And I'm wondering if it's in our line or in general, but I'll answer this and maybe we can pass it on to everyone else. When we're talking about video content, first of all, we have to think about our audience and who is watching. And so we appreciate you joining us for sure for this conversation. And it's really to get to the point quickly. If I'm going to tell you how to do something, maybe it's something related to our industry. If I'm going to teach you how to do videos, I'm going to get to the point quickly and not talk about my children, my college career, my first job in television. You probably don't care at that point. So the point is really to get to the point quickly, tell you what I'm going to tell you, recap that, and then move on. And when we're talking about entertainment, that's a different type of content. But when we're talking about training videos or videos where we're trying to share our expertise, brevity is important and getting to the point quickly that adds value to your viewer.
I think what you also just said, thank you, that was perfect. And context is everything. So understanding your audience, your goals for any conversation. Our goals for today is to let you get to know 4 of the 15 experts that are going to be on Easy Think Tank and available to serve you. So part of it is just to make 4 new friends, to feel comfortable and to say, oh, I've watched my team and there's always the same 4 voices that speak up, and Madeline could be the perfect person to really help those quieter souls realize they deserve and are obligated to step up and speak and be heard and seen. And let's give them some more confidence and the tools to do that. So yes, we're getting to see ourselves in our offices. We're getting to see ourselves in our collaborative context, but understanding, Jesus, what your goals are, because even your introduction, sometimes we have a 30-second or 60 or 90-second version. Sometimes it's a 3-minute. Sometimes it's you're leading a room for an hour or a whole day. And Cheryl, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but for sure, understanding the context of your relationship, the audience, and what you're trying to accomplish. Backstories are important in the context of when they're important.
Absolutely. I love how you said that. Absolutely.
And so thank you for that question. If anybody else has questions, by all means, please do that. And please know that we're going to talk a little bit about the format. I'm going to tell you who you're going to be able to see today, and we'll kind of go around if that's okay. Maybe just share a little bit so folks can get a sense of who's got what happening so they know what they can expect. So from today's engagement, right? Today is our engagement module. So there are 5 of us. Madeline and myself, I think you've gotten to know both of us. So I'm talking about rocking the corporate water cooler and virtual teams, how to keep remote people successful. Madeline was talking about introverts and making sure that folks hear their voice. Christine is talking about re-energizing the heart of your workforce. When you register at easythinktank.com, you will get a copy of the document that I am cheat sheeting off of, and there are doodles, which are strategic storytelling tools for all of us, because Lisa Rothstein, one of our partners, is one of the famous cartoonists from New Yorker magazine. And every one of our genius and our stories have now been captured on these amazing little doodle tools. So you happen to have myself and Christine and Madeline, and we also have Julie Anderson, who she calls herself Julie Brain Lady Anderson, and she's going to talk about the neuroscience of successful leadership and high-performing teams. And then, there's Madeline. And finally, Nikki Evans. It is Nikki talking about leading change, accelerating, adapting, and anchoring, how to basically manage and identify change, how to drive change in your organization. So when you register at easythinktank.com, you will get access. It'll trigger the emails today. All 5 of us are available. There are 30-minute interviews. They're available on demand. So you did not miss it yet. We're telling you now because it will be available today for the next 24 hours. Tomorrow is the A part of Easy for Adapt. And who wanted to explain that for the audience? Somebody want to walk through a little bit? I cheated.
Yeah, hang on. Let me pull up.
Okay, no worries. So here, Saraf, while you're doing that, Sarafez, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name incorrectly. I apologize. Awesome, great to hear. Oh, great to hear from Pat. Hi, yes, welcome. This is us live, and again, we are just putting it down and getting it together and doing our best. So E is for engagement of Easy. Tomorrow is the A for Adapt. Did somebody grab that? Were you able to do it? I just clicked on the link.
I have it. So tomorrow we are going to hear from Lisa Rothstein, who is the doodler and the amazing person providing the visual notes for all 15 of our conversations. We are also hearing from Lisa Scott tomorrow about connecting to communicate, critical skills for leaders. Kathy Norris, who's an emotional resilience expert, talking about how to prevent burnout for yourself and your team. Such an important, relevant topic right now. And Alexandra Hoffman, who's a crisis management expert and will be talking about business resilience and elevating crisis management. And the last person who will be speaking tomorrow, the 5th person, is Deborah McLaughlin, who is talking about amplifying business results through adaptability and visionary thinking. So that's who we have in store tomorrow on day 2, all about Adapt.
Thank you for that. Who would like to talk about the strategizing and scaling day, which is Wednesday's conversation? 5 more experts available on Wednesday. In 30-minute interviews. So each of us has interviewed one of our friends, one of our partners. I interviewed Cheryl for her session.
It was great.
It was fun. It's fun. It was fun. Do you want to talk about that, Cheryl? Strategize Day?
I am still trying to pull up my cheat sheet. What I can say is I can talk a little bit about mine as I'm talking about how you can use video to create connection, to save time, and kind of release a little bit of that overwhelm just using video. But the Strategize experts and I were really working on creating some systems within your business. Christine, do you have that list of the rest of the speakers for that?
I do.
Hold up.
I do. We have Denise Graziano, who is, let's see, her topic. I don't have her.
How not to lose competitive ground during hybrid and return to workplace transitions.
Right. And then we have Jill Rath. I don't have, I just have her bio right here.
Oh, okay. I have the topics. I'll just do this part then. How about that?
I'll talk about
I'm sorry. This is live, guys, right? This is non-rehearsed and live. We're doing our best like we always do. Okay. So Jill Rath is our EX to CX expert strategist talking about easy steps for employees to turn employees, into advocates and customers, which is awesome. Then we have Victoria Peterson, who has been so instrumental in pulling all of this together because she is a corporate event leadership and logistics genius, project management. So re-energize your team and strategically communicate your message. And she has been one of the backbones of helping to get this done. Cheryl Tan, our 5 ways video can improve employee communication, retention, and productivity. Awesome. And the queen of the hour, Miss Beate Chalette, who is our friend out in California, who's really been the fire starter. She was the kindling and continues to be the flame that's really lighting up this group. And she is using growth architecture to turn chaos and challenge into clarity and growth. And so between us, there's 15. Thursday is a live day, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. And we will be having a panel discussion, but more importantly, we're using a tool called AirMeet. If you've never used it, you need to come just to learn that alone. It's going to be worth it. The other sessions are pre-recorded. That will be live on AirMeet. You will have a special link to come in, and it will be literally like walking into a conference room. You can see who's sitting at the tables, and we will be having executive roundtable conversations. So you will get to meet the consultants, as many as you want, who you've admired and learned from or are interested in that you've met over the course of the week. And you will also be able to meet each other. So we've got folks from Novartis and Roche and McDonald's and Chevron and all these crazy, amazing organizations, nonprofits, Fortune 10, Fortune 100, global companies. We've basically all invited our best clients to meet our colleagues, number one, and extended the circle. So it's for you if you have any level of decision-making, team leadership, team management, if you're responsible for help your team understand how to navigate through, what should we call it? It's not post-pandemic, folks. I'm sorry, that word does not fit the vocabulary, but that pandemic recovery, the Wall Street Journal's covering it, calling it, excuse me. Adam Grant, the behavioral psychologist from the New York Times, is calling it how to resolve our atrophied relationship building muscles.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Right?
That's
because that is a common theme. So for anyone, whether it's for yourself or for your organization, please invite your CEO, your CHRO, your head of operations, your sales folks, invite your leadership team to come because there will be something of interest for all of them. And then when you sign up, folks in the audience, if you know Christine, please make sure you let her know because she will be your VIP concierge and she will make sure that even going forward that you have access to what you need when you need it. You don't have to feel like you've got 15 people coming at you. Zero pitch, zero selling. Didn't you guys love that part of it?
I love it. And it's a free event. It's one where you have the opportunity to meet so many people virtually who maybe you've heard through LinkedIn, maybe a podcast, a YouTube video. It's an opportunity for you to have a conversation. You don't have to get out of your pajamas, although you probably at this point have, but you'll have the opportunity to really have a conversation in an environment where you can meet more people who are colleagues and potential friends like we have.
Absolutely. I think it's amazing that the leaders that come to this corporate think tank, they could just take away maybe one small step that could actually change what's happening in their workplace. And so, and maybe they're gravitating towards one person that they want to hear, and they have the capability of doing that. And they can listen to everyone as well, because it really is a full plate. So, welcome.
Absolutely. Madeline, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking about how over the last year I've had so many dinners with 3 people in my home, and so many of us have been sitting at smaller tables while we're isolated, and this is a way to grow your table and have 15 experts sitting at your table and meet peers who can also sit at your table and help you solve the business problems that you are facing right now.
Awesome. So to wrap it up, as we cut near the top of the hour, we are the experts, 4 of your 15 experts from the Easy Work Solutions think tank, a collaborative of your favorite and best resources, your go-to team as an extension of your inner organizational teams. We're here to help you solve problems, to think out loud, to make new friends and high-level connections, and to really know in much better detail what you've got in your back pocket, because this is a moving target we're working toward. It's the first time on the planet we've all been exposed and are standing kind of on the same quicksand, if you will. It's not even the same footing, it's the same quicksand at times. And so when those questions arise and you see eyebrows wrinkle, or people worried or stressed or not knowing what return to work looks like. We had return to work start to open up here in South Carolina. Guess what? We had a gas shortage. There's no gas. Okay, so you think the pandemic, the illness part was one. Now we have the vaccines. That's helping quite a bit. We have the vaccines. We start to open up. People don't know what to do with masks. Now they don't have gas to get to their locations, and that'll solve itself too soon enough. But 15 experts, all levels of engagement, of adaptability, of strategy and scaling, coming together to be your team in your back pocket as you need. You'll have a VIP concierge resource, so you can tap into one. Working with one of us is like working with all of us, because we will know how to pull the best of what you need together and make it easy, right? Isn't that always the key word?
Love it.
Easy for you to succeed, to not just survive, but to thrive through this next chapter. So that being said, it is www.easythinktank.com. Please make sure you've registered. If you've signed up on the LinkedIn event, that does not automatically register you for the emails to get the program. Please go do that right now, because you will get the information. There's a physical program you can download with a schedule, an agenda, bios on everyone, so you can plan your time accordingly on who you want to see, and make sure on Thursday you're available to come live and meet us on Air Meet for that panel discussion and executive roundtable. So this is Pat Roque, Cheryl Tan, Madeline Schwartz, and Christine Molina. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will hopefully see you online today. God bless and take care. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Logging off.